Okay, I think y'all can now see the screen, and I'm hoping you can see what's on there. And I'm going to try to teach this class. I am so sorry I can't be there today. I am just hoping and praying that we're going to get some answers for me. And I'll be there tomorrow. That's my goal. So today we're going to be looking at lesson 3-1, which is what you had homework on Friday. And again, I guess that's a bummer that I wasn't able to be here to answer those questions, which was my whole goal. But I'm hoping my solution guide also helped you. So that will make things good as well. But I'll give you good notes. I'll try to do my best here with this. Okay, so the first part of your homework for tonight, which also was part of yesterday, was the first problems that talked about graphing, solving by graphing. And you can use your graphing calculator, okay, to solve, because you want to keep in mind, okay, that zeros is the same thing as roots, which is the same thing as solutions, which is also the same thing as x. And I'll extend this out just a little bit so I can get that word intercepts on there. Oops. Well, already. Intercepts. That works as well. Okay, so just keep in mind those are all the same. So therefore, if you solve by graphing, wherever this, where you put it in your graphing calculator, okay, and wherever it crosses the x-axis, okay, here's your picture, okay, wherever it crosses this point and this point is your zeros, your roots, your solutions, your x-intercepts. So if it says solve, you can find them, and you found your x-intercepts, you found your solutions. You've solved the equation, okay? So that actually goes for all of them. But if you're doing by graphing, again, you're welcome to use your graphing calculator. This would give you 2 solutions. This particular situation here, if you get this kind of graph, sorry, my graphs are not great, but you can pretend like that's great. Okay, and that supposedly that hits once. Just pretend that it hits once. Then there's also this potential situation, okay? And that's like this. And you probably have one of those in your homework. And it didn't hit the axis at all. That means there are no x-intercepts. That means there is no real solutions, no roots, no zeros. Again, they're all the same. Okay, so that's what you can do by graphing, and that's how you solve by graphing. One thing I might need to say when you're getting ready to solve for graphing, okay, so if you have, let me text this here. If you have an equation like x, well, how do I do up squared? I don't remember. Where's the button at? Okay, I'll do it later. X squared, okay, plus 6x plus, I don't know, 5 equals, and let's say it equals 8. Okay, and I'm going to go back and put the squared on there real quick, since I kind of lost it there. And we'll just kind of hand right in the squared. There we go. If you have this, I cannot put this in my graphing calculator yet. Why? Because I have to have it equal to 0. So I would have to subtract the 8 here, okay? And subtract 8 so that I can get, well, what I can type in, which is x squared plus 6x. Sorry, my writing is not fast. Minus 3, okay? And that equals 0. And I forgot this is touch screen, so what's wrong with me? Okay, anyway, that I could type in the calculator. Now, if you do, I don't know what, it might be horrible. Now, the answers might be horrible. And again, sometimes solving by graphing is easy because it crosses the x-axis at like a specific spot, like 1 or 2 or -3 or -2 or 5 or 6. Those are easy. But what about if it hits in between those, like it's a 1.325? How are we going to see that? Well, that's why you have these other methods for solving, because sometimes for graphing, it doesn't work as well because it's not an exact answer. They're kind of not perfect. So that's why we're going to look at other methods. This was solving by graphing. Okay, I'm going to clear the screen. We're going to go for another thing. Okay, here we go. And as we clear almost everything off, the next thing we're going to be looking at is solving by square roots, okay? And one of the things that I want to make sure I say with solving by square roots, I lost my white screen. Well, We'll stop. We'll put that. We'll stop share and do it again. Okay, white screen and whiteboard. There we go. That works. Okay, so so on this one, now what I want to talk is show you solving by square roots. So with solving by square roots, again, one thing you want to keep in mind, you're going to have something like x squared equals like 4. Or you might even have x plus 3. Oops, sorry, that's supposed to be a 3. 3 quantity squared equals 9. Might have something like this: 4x plus 1 squared minus 5 equals 7. And I would not going to encourage you to solve any of these because I'm making this up. One thing I want to show you, notice though, on all these problems, what you don't have. Okay, let me show you that. Here's like, let's say we have x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0. In this problem, we have this. Notice there's not a situation. It's not got a trinomial. It's not 3 terms. It's not got a 6x. Yes, it has x by itself. Okay, I recognize it there. Yeah, but it's in the quantity squared. Okay, it's in the quantity squared. So this is why we're able to do the square root method and why you can't do the square root method with this one. That right there keeps you from using the square root method, okay, with that red problem. You can't do it with that, but you can do it with all these others, okay? So let me give us some examples that you can use to show you how to solve by square roots. Again, most of you, hopefully this went familiar, but let me do one of them that's a little hard that comes from your homework, okay? That should help you out tonight. Okay, so for solving by square roots, let's try number 15 first. Okay, I'm gonna change it back to black. You've got, this would be thicker font, 4 x minus 1 quantity squared plus 2 equals 10. Okay, now you can't square root yet. Yes, you're going to use that method, but you cannot square root until you get down to just something squared. So let me show you what that means. We got 4x minus 1 quantity squared equals 8. Now we'll divide by 4. So we get x minus 1 quantity squared equals 2. Now, because there are no numbers around the x minus 1 squared, nothing here, it's just all by itself, we can now actually take the square root, okay? So you can take the square root of both sides. Square root, square root of this side, square root of that side. So we're going to get x minus 1 equals square root of 2. You do not change that to a decimal. You must leave it as the square root of 2, all right? Also, keep in mind, we took the square root, so you had to have the plus or minus sign in front. Now add 1 to both sides. So you're going to have x equals. Now, yes, the plus is there in front of the 1. You don't have to put the plus here. You can just say positive 1 by writing 1. Then we're going to put that plus or minus sign, square root of 2. This is the answer. Okay, that's how it is. So when you're doing this for homework tonight, hopefully you'll remember how to do this. Okay, let's do another one. Or if you took notes and you want Miss Lane to pause the video, she can hit pause and you can write it down. Okay, now let me do another problem. Clear all. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Okay, here's the other one that we have that's in homework that I want to go over. Half r squared minus 10 equals 3 halves r squared. Okay, so this one is number 17 in your homework, okay? So again, we don't have a r. Notice there's r squared, but there's not just r. So that's when we can solve this by square roots. Let's get the r squareds on the same side of the equation. I'm going to choose to subtract half r squared from this side and subtract it from this side. So this is now gone. So I've got negative 10 equals 3 halves take away 1 half. Okay, well, remember 3 halves is the same thing as 1 1/2. So if I take a half, since Miss Laney's watching this video, if we have 1 1/2 cups of flour and you take a 1/2 cup away, how many cups of flour are left? There we go, 1. So it's r squared. That was just for Miss Laney. Okay, now we'll take the square root of both sides. and you should have stop. That's supposed to be break. Why? Why would I tell you to stop and break? Talk about it. I'm going to pause a second. Okay, I'm hoping somebody was able to willingly say you cannot take the square of a negative number, so there is no real solution. By the way, if you had put this equation in the graphing calculator, brought it over where you could, that means that this would have been one of those graphs that either did this, or it was like maybe on the bottom and did this. It doesn't cross the x-axis. Just want to make those connections there. Okay, again, if you want, have Miss Blaney pause, write this down, or we can just keep on going. All right, the last part we want to talk about is, I hope, what is something that might be fun. Factoring. Remember, factoring equals is supposed to equal fun. Come on now, help me out and try to be happy about this. Okay. I like it. I think it's fun. Okay. Okay. So factoring can be fun. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to look at some basic factoring skills. All right. So let's say if we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. How does this work? Well, you're going to first write the factors. Well, first of all, you check. Okay. If the number in front of x squared is 1, you're good. If the number in front of x squared can divide out of every term, then you're going to divide it out first. That way you can make the math easier. Okay. So on this one, it's 1. So we don't have to do that first step. We also have to get it into this form where it's equal to 0. There's nothing on the right. So that's important as well. All right. Now let's factor. That should it look familiar? The factors of 1, which is in front of x squared, is 1 and 1. So that's kind of pointless. The factors of 4 is 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. All right. Let's go ahead and put the 1x and 1x in place. This is a way we can multiply and get x squared. I need to get middle term of 4. Which of these will 1 and 4 or 2 and 2 will add to give me 4? 2 and 2. This goes here and here. That way when I multiply 2 times 2, I get 4. Now let's multiply down. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. If I add those, I'll get the middle term of 4. So we'll make both plus. So now I've factored it. One more thing you have to do, since it says equal to 0. You've got to set both of these equal to 0. Now x plus 2 equals 0. Excuse me. And x plus 2 equals 0. Well, obviously, it's kind of pointless to do it twice. So x equals -2, and there's your only solution. That's 1. Okay, let's do another one. There we go. Let's do one like this. X squared minus 8x equals -12. Again, we have to get it where it's equal to 0. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides. X squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, the factors of the number in front of x squared is a +1, so we don't have to divide anything out. The 12, well, let's write the factors. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. All right, let's go ahead and put our, and obviously 1 and 1. So let's put our guesses in. X times x would obviously give me x squared. I need to get 8, actually -8. Well, 3 plus 4 is 7, and 4 minus 3 is 1. That won't work. 6 plus 2 is 8. Hey, let's use those two. 2, 6. All right, let's V down. 2x, V down. 6x. I need to get -8. If I had a -2 and a -6 and I added those, I would get -8. So make both of them negative. Okay, remember, you're not done because it says equals 0. We have to finish out by solving. We'll erase this. So we're going to have x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0, x equals 2, x equals 6. Oops, sorry. Sloppy there. This is my 2 x-intercepts. That's my 2 solutions. That's my 2 roots. That's my 2 zeros. Okay, that's how you do those. All right, let me do one more where the front number is not 1 and we can't divide it out. Okay, those are the factoring y'all didn't care for. Let's do them. Let's do them together. Here we go. We've got 3p squared plus 11p equals 4. Well, again, can we divide 3? There's the front number is not 1. So can I divide 3 out of every term? 11 doesn't divide by 3, and 4 doesn't divide. Okay, so nope. Unfortunately, I can't. But I do need to get everything over so that it equals 0. So I'm going to subtract 4. Okay? So if I subtract 4 from both sides, you're going to get 3p squared plus 11p minus 4 equals 0. Now we have to write the factors. Okay, this time I'm going to have to write the factors, the first term and the last term. Okay, I'm going to put in my check for the first term. Since there's only one way to get 3p squared, I'm going to go p, 1p, and 3p. That's the only way to get it. Over here, I have to guess. I don't know which one to do. I'm going to try 2 and 2. All right, multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. Can I get 11 from 6 and 2? If I add 6 and 2, I get 8. If I go 6 minus 2, I get 4. So that doesn't work. And there's no point in switching the 2 and 2 around because it would give me the same thing. So we're going to have to try a different one. So scratch that out. Let's try 1 and 4. All right. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, well, 4 plus 3 is 7, and 4 minus 3 is 1. I still can't get it. Okay, I need to switch the order. That's the only thing left I can try. Okay, so here we go. 4 here, 1 here. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. Hey, 12 take away 1 is 11. That'll give me what I want. So I'm going to put a negative here, and I need a positive 12, so a positive here, and now we're ready to solve. So we're going to erase this and solve. That means p plus 4 equals 0, and 3p minus 1 equals 0. P equals negative 4, and we'll add 1. 3p equals 1, so p equals 1/3, and I'm sorry, it's not very pretty. Okay. That gets you through those. I think the last part is any method. And then also it talks about finding the zeros. Remember zeros. You can do it by factoring, you can do it by square roots, or you can do it by graphing. If you choose to do the graphing method, I expect you to graph. If you choose to do it by square roots, show work. If you choose to do it by factoring, show this work. And then, of course, it also says choose any method. Please let me know if you have questions tonight, okay? Thanks. Bye.